Hi, everybody. Welcome back into the Infinite Danger Room. What is the show? The Infinite Danger Room. And we are going back to the spooky horror terror well again for our Halloween-themed episodes. We're doing a bit of a supernatural horror monster type draft. Kade Poulson, Chris Borthick, and I, Matthew Price, are going to draft 13 of the most horrendous... No, I don't know. I was going to try and do a little Vincent Price voice for a second there. 13 characters from sort of the supernatural horror monster world. And we'll probably lean toward comics because that's kind of where our wheelhouse is. But we're also opening this up potentially to television or movies or I guess even video games if you saw somebody from there you really wanted to have.
Sure.
Novels.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, it's pretty wide open. Like I said, I bet it'll end up being mostly comic characters.
Yeah.
But we're trying to leave it kind of open for anybody. Now, I wrote down the order as Chris, Cade, Matt, and I just randomly did that. Is that...
That is fine.
That is acceptable.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so, Chris, it's just a 3 draft, so let's just keep,
keep going.
Rather than serpentine it with just 3, let's just go around.
Oh, right.
Sure.
Okay. So, but we're going to say why we like them.
Yeah. Why we say why you liked them and why you chose them, and I mean sometimes we have sort of an idea of what these characters would be facing, whether it be some type of supernatural catastrophe. We don't have necessarily anything specific here, but just assume we're trying to draft a team of characters that might be able to stop some kind of crazy,
Yeah.
All right.
Conflict.
Well, I think I'm going to go with Dean Winchester right off to just leap right out of comics.
That is interesting because I was thinking about. I wonder if the supernatural guys will be around later or not.
I mean, on the TV side, I mean, they save the world all the time.
Do you get the car, or do you have to get Sam and Dean to get the car?
Dean comes with the car.
Okay.
He would never let the car be driven by Sam unless he was dead.
So you get the car.
I get the car.
And so, what is this from? Because I'm actually
Supernatural,
unfamiliar.
the TV show.
Supernatural, the TV
Yeah,
show.
they're
okay.
I mean, this is going to really boil it down, and Chris is probably going to be like, that's a dumb way to boil it down. But, like, take the Hardy Boys and kind of mix it with Scooby-Doo and then make it a little more like Buffy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, the original premise was literally a horror episode of the week, and so the first season is actually things like Wendigo and the white ghost dressed woman that's on the road that people pick up, things like that. Then it becomes more about evil and all of that in these big arcs in the later seasons. But it's a pretty interesting show, and yeah, Matt's description is pretty apt, and they actually, ironically, did have an episode where they got pulled into a Scooby-Doo episode last.
I think I saw that.
It was phenomenal.
Okay.
So, have at it.
Gotcha. Well, my number 1 pick is going to be Swamp Thing.
Nice.
Alec Holland, off the board on my team. Swamp Thing is definitely one of my favorite horror characters. First appeared in House of Secrets number 19-2. I think that was 1971. Just a creepy character, but also kind of he wasn't evil. He was trying to maybe avenge something that happened to him, and he ends up being a protector. But obviously this heap of swamp mass, this muck, terrifying to look at when it's coming at you. So not many people befriend him.
Yeah.
So
Shockingly.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with, I mean, it's a little superhero-y, but this is kind of one of my favorite characters, Dr. Fate.
Well,
Dr. Fate.
Love the helmet. The helmet's awesome.
A lot of people have worn the helmet.
They have, according
over the
to
years.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Made a movie. It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that yet, Matt?
No, is it pretty good?
Yeah, you should
check it out.
definitely check that out.
Dr. Fate. Golden Age character.
Yes.
All right, Chris.
All right. John Constantine is my number 2.
Nice.
Because if all the years of reading his comics have shown anything, he's pretty much equipped for horror and everything that comes with it. So
I strongly considered him with pick number 1.
Yeah.
Strongly considered him.
Yeah. Well, my next pick I also considered for number 1. It's going to be Blade.
Oh, yeah.
First appeared in Tomb of Dracula number 10. I think that was also in the 70s. Used to have an afro and doesn't anymore. But the Wesley Snipes Blade from like 1999, I
Yeah.
still think that was one
Fantastic
of the
movie.
coolest movies, and I watched it over and over and over. And yeah, if you have not seen Blade from '99 with Wesley Snipes, the first movie is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the classic characters introduced in the 70s by Marvel, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Let's go Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's
All
pretty
right.
tough. I was more into this show a while back, but when it was on, I was definitely all in watching that show. So.
Mm-hmm. And Joss Whedon created her
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, but the first movie didn't have Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was
Christy Swanson.
yeah, Chrissy Swanson. Cheerleader turned vampire slayer.
Yeah. Well, my number 3 is going to be the Spectre.
Oh, that's
Spectre.
very powerful.
The Spectre is very powerful and done right. He's an interesting character. My favorite version of him is actually an animated version. They were doing shorts with their animated movies back in the day, and the short with the Spectre is one of the creepiest and coolest versions of him I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Like the Spectre, he's very powerful. For my next pick, I am going to draft Zatanna. She is also a powerful character in the mystical arts from the DC universe, and her father Zatara as well.
Guys are getting some good. I mean, there are definitely some good ones going down quickly here.
Going down quickly. Yep.
I'm not sure on this one. I'm going to go with Raven from
Raven.
Yeah.
from the new Teen Titans.
That's a good one.
That could either go really well or really poorly if her dad shows up. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually how it ends up going with her, but she's a great character.
Sure is.
So she's going to be my third pick.
Right. Gosh. I am going to go with Frey. Frey is the vampire slayer from the future that shows up that they did as a limited series while Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on. She used a red axe with a stake on the end that actually ends up showing up in season 7, which was pretty funny. If you read the comic, you're like, oh, there it is.
I don't think I knew much about Frey.
It's a good. Is the trade still available for that?
Probably not. This is going to be a little bit of a tangent. I'm channeling Matt Howlett, the derailer.
Right.
But all of the Fox properties have kind of wrapped up their license because Fox is getting sold. And somebody else is picking up some of those licenses. But I don't know if we know exactly if Frey even comes along with the Buffy license or if it's going to be a whole separate thing. So
Very cool. Well then,
so right now, no, you have to either hunt for back issues or
half price books, everybody, or the internets.
go to your local comic book store. Good grief, people! Come on,
Let's see.
We're gonna be biased.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's not on the shelves, then
Speeding
that's where you're
Bullet
gonna have
in
it.
Norman, Oklahoma can help you
I-
out.
But
I
it
actually
doesn't-
don't know if we have it or not, but I'm just saying if we're gonna be plugging.
Yeah. Okay, so for my fourth pick, I am going to choose Etrigan the Demon.
Oh, nice.
He is a rhyming demon that takes the place of Jason Blood when he is summoned. And he is often seen as a hero, even though he is a demon. He is a part of the original kind of Justice League Dark team with Swamp Thing and
he's cool.
Dr. Fate and a lot of these other characters, Zatanna.
Let's see if I can do this or not. Can I pick Man Bat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
All right,
works.
I'm gonna take Man Bat.
I will
That's
take
fantastic.
Man-Bat. That was the first Batman animated series TV show was about Man-Bat. And
Yes. Very first episode.
yeah, I'm trying to think of Man-Bat's real name. Langstrom?
Okay. Kurt Langstrom.
Langstrom, yeah, Kirk Langstrom. So that was a pretty good one started off.
Yeah, he's got good. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, when he's not completely crazy, he's very strong. He can fly. He has some good
Yeah.
powers. So
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Very true.
And so many things to think about. Who am I missing? What am I missing? see here.
Excuse me.
I think I'm going to grab Hellboy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you know, I had him in mind earlier and kind of forgot about it.
Hellboy is a master of dealing with terrible threats, and he'd be an interesting addition to this group. So
Definitely. He'd be a great addition. For pick number 5, I'm going to go with Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
there you go.
Is this your 5th pick? Who'd you do for 4? I forgot to write it down.
I had Etrigan, the demon, for 4. 5 was Ghost Rider.
And then Johnny Blaze. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze. I think there are several iterations of the Ghost Rider.
Oh, for sure.
But definitely not the Nick Cage version.
Well,
That's not the one that I'm choosing.
Since you went Ghost Rider, I'm going to go Dan Ketch.
Okay.
90s Ghost Rider.
The other Ghost Rider.
I just reread the first year or so of those,
They're so
and
good.
I really like them. Yeah, I really
So
like
good.
that first year or so of Dan Ketch Ghost Rider, so I'm going to take him at number 5.
That is fair.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with another master of the mystic arts, Doctor Strange.
Oh, he's a good one. That's kind of late for him to be going, honestly.
Let's see. Doctor Strange, that's a pretty good one. I want to go a little bit offbeat from the comic characters, and I'm going to choose Alice from the Resident Evil
that's
storylines
beautiful.
from the
Yeah,
movies.
that's good.
And that
Great
is
pick.
Mila Jovovich,
Yes.
I think is how you say her name. So I will choose Alice to be kind of my
Yeah.
extra muscle.
Great pick.
Yeah, from Resident Evil.
I haven't really gone too far outside the world of comics yet, unless you consider Buffy, who had a comics. But I'm going to stay with my theme here. I'm taking Spawn.
Oh, yeah.
Spawn.
He's, depending on what version, got a lot of powers, got a lot of tactical skill.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take Spawn.
All right. Well, looking at my list, trying to figure out who do I have that I need? Because let's see. Man, sorry, I'm thinking, guys. I should have been more on the ball, but
Well, sometimes you get maybe one or two of your people taken, and then all of a sudden you're...
you're like, oh no.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from, and sometimes that can just
that's-
bog you down.
As far as my brain starts going out into, well, there's video games. Yeah, that's right. Oh, wait, then there's TV, and then there's novels. So, let's see. Supernatural guys. I think I'm going to pick... man, I keep thinking of her, so I'm just going to pick Faith.
Faith.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Nice pick. Also from the
Oh,
Buffy
Buffy
universe.
world, yeah.
I feel like Jensen Ackles, if he's listening, is getting frustrated as long as this thing goes on, but...
Probably so.
Well, we could tag him on Twitter and see if he'll listen. I mean, I think he's going to be real happy that he was like number 1, but then
Yeah.
where's Sam? What's happening?
Okay, this is pick number 7. I'm going to pick Ash from The Evil
Oh,
Dead.
Nice,
Yeah, very
nice pick. Another nice one.
You know, shop smart, shop S-smart for your shotguns and your
That-
chainsaw hands.
That is that's a good pick. Okay, you picked this person. It's back to me again. I take it.
Yes.
Well, again, I've gone very comic heavy, but I'm gonna go Werewolf by Night.
Oh, there you go.
As the old joke goes, when else would he werewolf? But Werewolf by Night.
That is cool. Werewolf by Night.
By night.
That was a good early comic series from Marvel, and later on introduced Moon Knight.
Would he count, do you think, in this?
I think he would, because he was
uh,
introduced in a horror comic, and he doesn't necessarily have like powers. I
He's a
mean,
little crazy too.
he's crazy.
And he's got like Egyptian ghost stuff, so it kind of fits in
Yeah,
with like
that's
mummy.
true.
Part of his sanity or insanity, whatever you want to call it. Alrighty.
All right. I think I'm going to take. Oh, this will be kind of a weird Elseworldly one. I'm going to take Batman the Vampire.
Vampire Batman from
Vampire
Crimson Mist.
Yeah, all those.
That was a creepy.
It was super creepy.
Yeah, creepy. That was an Elseworlds book, and did Kelly Jones
Yes,
do the art?
and
Yeah,
it made it super creepy.
So yeah, I think Kelly Jones does great horror art, and he did a lot of the covers to some of the Batman comic books, and he really exaggerated the creepy aspects of it, and made his cape super long and flowing, and his fingers very sharp and pointy bat ears that were very long. So really creepy covers to some of the Batman books. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to take Frankenstein, Agent of Shade.
Nice.
So
good
this
one.
is the DC iteration of Frankenstein. I think that he was kind of brought to life by maybe Grant Morrison in some of the books that he had in the early 2000s or so. And then he did a DC New 52 line under Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. So, powerful character.
Yeah.
I think this falls under somebody I can take. I'm gonna say Godzilla.
I think that counts.
Godzilla's a horror character for sure.
That's a big one, literally.
I mean, I might have to take one of the versions from like the animated cartoon where you actually help people,
Yeah.
as opposed to just destroyed everything. But
Yeah.
Well, the new movie version was trying to help. It
Yeah.
just, he just really didn't pay attention to where he was stepping.
all right, so I'm going with Godzilla. That definitely gives me some power.
Yeah, that'll give you a ton of power, that's for sure.
All right. Too many choices. Okay.
So many choices.
So many choices. I'm going to go with. Would The Shining Knight count for this?
The Shining Knight?
The DC version of was he a supernaturally enough character for that?
How does he become time displaced? Is it a supernatural force of some sort?
Doesn't he have like magic armor and like all that stuff?
I don't remember much about that character myself, but it sounds like that could count. Does he have like
Oh wait,
horror related?
I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the Sandman Wesley Dodds
Okay.
That's a good one.
from Sandman Mystery Theater with his premonition dreams of murder and horrible things happening. So one of my favorite characters.
Well, for my pick number 9, I think I'm gonna have to go with Deadman.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
So another kind of original character from the Justice League Dark side of their universe, with Swamp Thing and some of the other characters.
I don't know if this guy's going to do anything but look cool, but with Dr. Fate and Raven on my team and Man-Bat, I'm kind of already leaning towards the looks cool team and Dan
Yeah.
Ketch, the Crow.
The Crow.
Okay.
Now that was a comic first,
That was a comic
wasn't it?
first,
And
yeah.
then it was a
And there's
movie with.
And they've done other comics.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're good. They're very... It was sort of goth and emo before that was even a thing.
Yeah.
But man, he's
Yeah.
just a cool looking character.
That's an awesome
That was a
looking
character that I think influenced how Sting looked later on from WCW.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There was definitely a...
Sting was like kind of bright colored at first,
Yeah.
and then later on he looked like the Crow,
Crow.
who came down from the rafters to fight his wrestling matches.
Yep.
All right, I guess we're back to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a heck of a wrestling run. That's a whole different podcast, but that whole year where he was dropping out of the rafters was pretty fantastic.
Well, I feel like I'll just take Sam Winchester from. I'll just take the other brother.
The other
All right,
brother.
Sam gets on the board.
So now I've got them both.
That's funny. Matt went with literally big character with Godzilla, I think I'll go with King Kong. Why not?
All right.
Why not King Kong? I mean, maybe not the scariest movie, but
I mean, the Spectre could trash both of them, but
yeah.
he could
All
go
right,
to
now
that side.
this guy had a comic, and I started thinking this way from Cade's discussion here. Could I take the fictional The Undertaker?
I think that you could.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
So
Yeah, he's a fictional character that's embedded in horror.
Yeah.
He's
And
a
he
fictional character
tombstones people.
right,
anyway. And he's a fictional character. I mean,
Yeah.
chances are that
there is a guy,
Yeah.
right, but he plays.
but they
the
did a
character.
comic
right?
about, and it wasn't about him like brushing his teeth.
Right.
It was about
Yeah.
him, fighting.
And I certainly hope that the real Undertaker guy is not as creepy as like his persona.
He's probably.
I
not.
bet
He's
he
probably.
probably goes and
probably
plays with
super
puppies
nice.
all the time.
All right. Well, I'll take the Undertaker. That just seems like that would be a fun one to add to my. And there was a comic book that was like pretty popular for a while. I think they did it and then ended it when he switched over to be the more motorcycle-y guy for a while. Yeah, but you may have seen this back when it came out.
Undertaker. Yeah, I remember some of the WWF comic books that
Yes.
they
I
were
think that
selling.
was
And
the biggest hit of them.
yeah, that was pretty good. I feel like he's a character that people follow.
Yeah.
And still, they want autographs. They want to meet him. I think he's definitely embedded in the horror lore that we have around today.
Agreed. Number 11.
Number 11.
So many options yet again. But I'm going to go with a very classic. I don't know how he's going to agree to work with everybody, but, it must be something where, there's going to be a lot of sunlight. So Dracula.
Dracula.
I've got one guy that I'm kind of holding off on picking for similar reasons. So are you taking a particular version?
Man. I'm going to take what's his name? Christopher, played in the Star Wars movies.
Lee?
Christopher Lee version.
Alrighty, let's see. Pick number 11. I am going to choose Ripley from Aliens
Nice.
anthology, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, she's tough.
I feel like I need another tough character on my team, and she pretty much survived all the Alien movies, so you can't get much tougher than that.
Very true.
Okay, I think I'm just out of ideas. Maybe something to go to my oddball pick, Jesse Custer.
Jesse
Oh,
Custer
there you
from
go.
Preacher. That's a good
If
one.
we get in a jam, he just tells people do whatever, and then we're out.
Yeah,
That's true.
So, hard
That's
to
a-
top that.
that's a pretty good pick. Well, we got two more.
Again, I don't know how he would get along with the rest of the team, but
Yeah.
2 more picks.
2 more picks. This is much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it is. Let's see here. Oh. Okay. I'm going to take Dr. Occult.
Okay.
Dr. Occult is a good pick. Let's see. I think I'm going to go to video games again, and I am going to select Alucard from Castlevania.
Well, there you go.
Nice one.
Alucard being Dracula backwards. I think he is the son
Son of
Dracula. I think. If I'm remembering that right. Who comes back to destroy his father.
Well, yeah, that sounds right.
That
There's
sounds
also
correct.
an Alucard in Helsing, right? But they're unrelated.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are correct. So I definitely wanted to make sure to tell that this is the Castlevania Alucard. I liked playing him.
Castlevania. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's a nice draw. I think I've almost gone almost entirely comics, although I did go and get the Undertaker, who did have a comic.
Yeah, he had a comic.
pick 12. Why not Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Here you go.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, she does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and she can be creepy. The new
The new
Sabrina
one looks like it's
comics
gonna be
are,
pretty
are
creepy.
very creepy.
Right.
They're
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to be
we
horror
would
comics.
like if we get a chance. That's when we should do a show on to the new Netflix
Yeah,
show.
definitely.
That sounds great.
So, Chris, last pick.
Last pick. I think I'm going to go with a werewolf, I'm going to pick Derek Hale. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the only adult werewolves on the Teen Wolf MTV reboot.
Nice.
He actually, at the end of his storyline, he gets to turn it. He actually can turn fully into a huge black wolf, which is pretty cool.
But you're not actually taking Teen Wolf.
No,
Okay,
I don't
nice
know.
pick.
No, and then also actor played Superman on Supergirl.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely taking an oddball pick for my last pick on my team, pick number 13.
Okay.
I'm going to select Elvira.
Nice.
She has been in comics, she's been in TV, she's been in movies,
I thought
done a lot of voice work, and, I don't know what she could do for my team. Maybe distract somebody. She might be able to do that.
Yeah.
But she's also kind of like the narrator for some of the House of Mystery comics and the stories that she tells in the DC world, so that would be kind of cool. But she's just a cool horror character.
For sure. Okay, so there's like a lot of Marvel ones we didn't get to, and
Oh, yeah.
Vampirella we didn't pick, and make me
Yep.
think of Elvira when you think of Vampirella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to wrap mine up with Morbius.
Yeah,
you go.
Morbius.
I
is
mean,
a
I'll be
good
lucky
one.
if Buffy doesn't kill him. Be on the same team, but maybe it'd be one of those times when he's just drinking
The
the
fake
synthesized
blood.
or whatever.
Blood. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And nobody from True Blood either made the list.
No.
Um,
No, they
It's
didn't.
not really scary.
So Morbius, have you guys ever read like the Vampire Tales stuff of whatever? He is like in most of the Marvel Universe stuff, he's very conflicted, and he's kind of like this heroic vampire who's fighting against his urges. In Vampire Tales, for whatever reason, for a few issues, he decides to kill people pretty much like all the time randomly. So I just read those recently, and I'm like, this seems
Just
out of
give in.
character, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's upset about it later.
Yeah.
But like at the time, he's going, oh, well.
Well, he used to be human, and realistically, humans go through phases. Some people are addicts, and they have trouble, getting out of that part of their life and getting everything figured out. So maybe it's the same thing, just he's a vampire.
He's just a vampire. All right, so I don't know. My team is all over the place. How do you feel about your team, Cade?
I feel pretty good. I think that they could stand up against just about anything that came at them. So, Elvira is the only one that she wouldn't be, like, powerful or tough. But
She might be.
she could be the spokesperson for my team.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess she does. She gets powers in the first Elvira movie. Like, she gets some type of spell, grants her powers, and she's super strong or something like that.
There you go.
So, yeah, that could happen. And she would make the team more fun and funny. So, yeah, I think I like it.
Okay.
What do you think, Chris? How do you feel about your team?
I think my team would save the world pretty easy. I mean, I've got some great spellcasters. I've got some terrifying people on here, but I think pretty level for the most part. I mean, I'm pretty happy with them. So it'd be quite a. I think the interpersonal interaction would be pretty crazy.
Pretty
but,
crazy,
yeah.
sure. Well, you've got both. Do you have Dracula and Vampire Batman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to go all kinds of wrong.
Yep.
And then John Constantine's going to be off on the corner doing spells for his own benefit.
Yep.
And
Faith
and hitting on
quits
everyone.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an exciting team. Mine, I primarily went with who looks cool, and I feel like I have a very cool looking team.
You have a very cool looking team. man.
Like, people are going to be wanting to do pinups of my
covers
team.
are gonna be great.
Capes
covers
and stuff
will be great.
everywhere. Godzilla's in the background.
That's awesome.
Cool. So, hey, that was our Supernatural Characters draft. What did you guys think? Who do we miss out on? Who should we have picked higher? Who should we have picked lower? Who maybe shouldn't we have picked at all? Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at infinitedangerroom@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us, Danger Infinite on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. We're Infinite Danger Room there. We would love for you to leave us a rating or a review on iTunes. And you can also listen to the show at SoundCloud or via newsok.com. So for Chris Borthick and Kade Poulson, I'm Matthew Price. Thank you for listening.